Coming up next at the movies, killer children in a Nebraska cornfield.
Fred, look out!
Our next film is called Children of the Corn. It opens with a gruesome murder in a coffee shop of adults by a group of weird-looking children who, it turns out, are part of a strange religious cult that is growing and has been growing for a while in a small Nebraska farm town. And when a couple of innocent city folks drive by the town, they find that even the cutest little girl is part of the dark goings-on.
What's your name?
Sarah?
Oh, Sarah, that's a beautiful name. This is Bert, and I'm Vicky.
Are you here alone, Sarah?
Do you live here?
You just come here to play?
Are your mommy and daddy around?
They're in the cornfield.
Oh, what are they doing there?
All the grown-ups are there.
Are they working there, though, or having a meeting?
No. Isaac put them there.
Isaac is one of the leaders of the cult, and that little girl has the gift of foretelling the future by drawing pictures of future events. I wish she had made a series of drawings depicting the second half of this movie, because then I could have left the theater a little bit early. This film gets more and more bloody as it goes on, outrageously so. For example, that young adult man there we saw in the scene wanders into the local church and meets the murdering kids face to knife.
What the hell's going on here? What are you, crazy? What do you think you're doing?
It's my passage. It's my birthday.
You got a pretty sick way of celebrating it, pal. Listen, I don't...
Silence, interloper. Your presence does profane this holy place. He will reckon with you.
Well, that's terrific. I don't know who he is, but maybe he'd like to discuss the medical side of what's going on here with me.
It's as it should be.
Amos,
It's as it is written.
speak no more to him. He is an unbeliever. Hurry, get Isaac. No, wait. Bring Malachi.
What do we have here? 19 years. What is this? These people all died so young.
Not die. We go to him. The first night of our 19th year.
Who the hell's him?
He who walks behind the rose.
Malachi, come.
Seize him!
Get off! Back off!
I almost want to apologize for showing that scene. Malachi is another one of the leaders of the cult, and you saw that kid at the beginning of the film, beginning of that scene with the blood on his chest. We get to see in slow motion the cutting of the blood. I mean, that's the level that this film is operating at. There is sort of a convention in horror films that you start out with a brutal murder, like in Psycho, to get the audience's attention, and then you ease up a bit until the very end, the very violent end usually. But Children of the Corn is shockingly violent all the way through, and at a certain point, that really becomes offensive. Additionally, the group of kids are not the greatest actors, and so as you watch this junk play itself out, your mind wanders, you don't believe it's really a movie, and you begin to wonder what it must have been like for all of them to stand around as they do at the end of this picture in a cornfield yelling, "Kill, kill, kill," waving their knives. It's a totally preposterous film as played, and The Children of the Corn, I think now, is one of the worst movies of this year.
Well, I think you've done a pretty good job on it, Gene, and I'm in agreement with everything you said. I'll mention one thing. It's a Stephen King movie. This is the 8th movie based on a Stephen King book, and it's one of the worst. It's right down there with Cujo.
Yeah.
But usually in a King movie, the good ones and the bad ones, there's an explanation at the beginning to set up the evil. Here there's no explanation. They talk about he who walks behind the corn. The corn god doesn't, that walks behind the rose. That's not the corn god. He doesn't walk behind the rose. He burrows underneath the rose. He looks kind of like a dog underneath a rug, you know, or international harvester gopher or something. And every time you see him come roaring along or whatever it is, you just totally lose any interest in it because it's so totally made up out of nothing.
Yeah, I have a set of standards on using kids in violence, and it's... This one just went past the pale of what is necessary. Children of the Damned, to pick another film, Village of the Damned, or whatever it was, you know, that was creepy without having to see incisions like that. I think it can be done without being this disgusting.
Sometime we could probably also have a discussion on how come kids are always associated with evil. We must have, in our society, some strange attitude about kids. Thumbs down for Children of the Corn, the Stephen King thriller that didn't thrill us.